So welcome. I see a lot of faces that I know. Some of you are super new, so I'm very happy that some people are here for the first time at the Impact Hub. I'm Gaia. I'm the co-founder of Impact Hub Belgrade. And for those of you who don't know, Impact Hub Belgrade is actually this that you see where it's at. We're operational already for 2.5 years. We're part of our global network of 102 Impact Hubs in the world. What we do is we support entrepreneurs and professionals and freelancers to do what they do at their best. And we do that by offering co-working in combination with entrepreneurial support and inspirational events such as this one tonight. So I just want everybody to be active tonight and to share experiences. Because actually the reason we are here is to share with you what we've been seeing for the past couple of years of our operations with entrepreneurs, men and women, founders and startuppers and more experienced ones. And we started to notice actually some patterns that are happening. We work with over 70 teams so far. And actually what we wanted to share with you is the fact that we see that women entrepreneurs are more and more, so this is an amazing thing. We have a growing trend of women entrepreneurs coming and actually asking actively for support and to validate their innovations and their products. What's happening is also that we see that women are amazing at discovering what the most important actually challenges that affect all of us are out there. We do recognize that when we address something, it is actually meaningful. But what we're also really great at is at communicating it. So we very often use our empathy to just sort of check with everybody else, is that the way that you see things? Is that the issue that is bothering you? Because this is the issue that is bothering me. And I think that that's actually one of the most, one of the strongest pull actually strategy in marketing and one of the bases of the modern inbound and content marketing. So we're good at building that community around us. And when we do validate the innovation, the service, the product, when people do start to buy what we are delivering and building, I think that we do then feel some sort of comfort. So we are solving our own problem, but we're also solving a lot of people's problems around us. So it's something that makes us feel stronger at that level. I think when things start to be a little bit more challenging for us as women is when we realize that it's not enough to actually build a solution or a product, but there's the opportunity to actually build a business. So now we actually need to shift a little bit our attention and our mindset into a different situation where maybe we actually don't feel as comfortable, because now we're talking about risking some more capital for growth, and whose capital is that, and who's going to take me seriously to actually give me that capital so that I can build a business, and who does take a woman seriously when it's business, and what if actually I spend the money that I have or somebody actually invested in me, and I could have spent that money over my family and kids and a lot of other things, a lot of other issues. So our challenge, and we want to see with all of you, if that is a challenge that you are seeing, is how do we actually help women, support women into making the best decision for themselves, into whether they're there to grow their business and do what they might to scale their business? Is that what they want to do? Or is it that they want to have their family business and balance more lifestyle, family, business, whatever the case is? We would just like that sort of decision to be conscious, mindful, and to be open and to not depend from other sort of circumstances and pressures from different sides. So please give us your feedback, and I'll introduce Tanya, who's our facilitator tonight and moderator, and she will actually lead the discussion with others.
Thank you, Maya. My name is Tatiana Blažević, and I'm an entrepreneur. I would like to greet you all, and I would also like to greet males in the room who came here to share energy and experience with us. My role tonight is going to be as a facilitator or moderator of the discussion. So I would like to introduce to you our panelists. So from my left, Ms. Maureen Kudet, strategic business leader from Vancouver, Canada. Ms. Jelena Bulatović, Executive Director at Serbian Association of Managers, member of the Board of Directors at Opportunity Bank Serbia. Welcome. Ms. Vanda Kučera, who is Head of Corporate Affairs, McKinsey Group. Welcome. Gaja Jumat. From my right side is Ms. Teresa Widman. Sorry. English pronunciation. Global Entrepreneurship Program Managers, Swiss Contact. And last but not least, Ms. Aleksandra Đurišić, who is entrepreneur, experienced in public relations, marketing, events, and beauty expert, and one of the founders, founder of excellent beauty bar collection. Collection. So. Before we start, we talked that we would like to see who do we have in the audience. So I would like to ask how many entrepreneurs do we have in the audience? Just entrepreneurs, please raise your hand. Okay. Yeah. How many women do we have that would like to become entrepreneur? So, thank you again for coming. How this panel will look like? We will start with presenting some researches done in the field in Serbia, just general data from our own experiences. Setting the ground for women, what women entrepreneurships look like in Serbia and in international context, and what we have. And then we will talk about some challenges that women entrepreneurs are talking about with all of you and with us, what we saw from our own experience. We would like this to be participatory, so we will go with a round of questions, but whenever you feel that it is an opportunity for you to ask question or comment on something, please just raise a hand and we will give you the space to talk. We will open discussion also, and at the end we will see from the discussion what are our next steps. I will start first, just shortly presenting my own experience as entrepreneur and also as someone who did several researches with women entrepreneurs in Serbia from different backgrounds. So I'm an entrepreneur for 10 years. I'm co-founder of Mena Group Ltd, which is a consultancy company operating in Serbia. And what I know from my own experience is that women entrepreneurs rocks. really rocks. So they are moving stones in Serbia in different fields. And I had a fabulous chance to meet different entrepreneurs in Serbia. So I met entrepreneurs from rural areas in Serbia. I met some Roma women entrepreneurs. I met women with disability working as entrepreneurs. I worked with women from cities. So I had the opportunity to talk to all of them. And during the researches I did, I saw that there are several common things going on. So they are facing different challenges, but when you put them at the basic level, is the same. So just few notes what I noticed, and then I will give chance to others to speak. One of the biggest challenges for women entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter what is their background, so if they're Roma, rural, city, whatever, are gender roles. And why gender roles? Gender roles, it came out that there are obstacles for women sometimes to start the business, but it's also an obstacle to grow the business. So when they want to start a business, especially women from multiple vulnerable groups, they don't have support for that. So the traditional gender roles are stopping them to even start a business. And then for women who started a business, gender roles are somehow pulling them back and stopping them to grow. Why? What they're saying is that they don't have time to invest in learning. They don't have time to invest in staying at office as long as is needed. They don't have enough time to put in growing a business. What also I saw from working with them is that mentoring support is really important. It doesn't matter if you are in the business or you are just a starter. So women are saying that the support they receive, if they have access to it, so if they have some kind of mentoring support, meaning working with the women who are already in business, giving them advice or guiding them, it was very valuable. And even when they're starting business, someone to tell them what steps they need to take, it is really valuable. It also what I saw that in Roma communities and in rural communities, support to women associations is very important, meaning that they are more willing to work as cooperatives, not as solopreneurs as we know. So they sometimes would like to join efforts to work. And I came to several prejudices, especially with the rural women, meaning that there is no women running the shop in a rural area. They are all in tourist economic field, meaning or they're renting some rooms, they're preparing jam or whatever. But I met a dozen of women who are doing some, you could not impossibly manage what kind of job, and they're living in rural areas, and they are facing different challenges that the women from the cities are facing. But their businesses are operating very well. Some of them are working for 15 years, having the shop with some machines for the corn or something else, and they are owner of the business, and they are importing stuff. So you really need to prize women and the different fields of the economy the women entered in Serbia, and what they're doing and how they're making impact doing those businesses. What I also saw is that women are saying that solidarity between women is very important. So how they support each other from the level of, I will take your kid while you are at work because you don't have anybody else to take care about your children, or how they're supporting each other in growing business, going to the conference, going to the different seminars, training in events, sharing information between each other is very, very valuable. So I will stop here. there's just general things that women are working on the diversification of the economy as such, that women are in different fields of the economy and doing very good jobs, but they face several challenges which are somehow common. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. And from this stage, I would give the floor to Wanda, who will talk about the research the company did about the perception youth have about gender roles.
Hello again. So I will present you several, just few slides regarding the, which is from the research that we done with the youth, 16 to 29 years old. We did it last year, and it was covering different topics, life topics, but we just decided today to share with you the topics and opinion regarding the gender equality or disequality, whatever how we see that subject. The presentation is in Serbian, mostly. One slide is just in English, so I will just, you can read it in Serbian, you can read, and I will explain in English the main conclusion from each slide. So, what is also interesting, the True Central that we have within McCann, we have communication agency and marketing agency, so we did several researches regarding the opinion and the way of thinking and living of different categories, different social groups. We did the digital map research as well. We don't have it here, but something which is interesting with digital map, I will say later on, just regarding your opinion about time. I was just remember now some of those conclusions which are very interesting, how women nowadays find, digital mom, we call it that way. Actually, it's a worldwide research which is done on like 60 or 70 different markets, and we all do the same level and the same questionnaires, so we can compare with the other parts of the world. Okay, let's go to this. Not to take your time too much. I have to change my house. Sorry. Okay. So 85% of young people think that there is nothing bad in that for men to work and to do some job that usually we're thinking and realized as a female or women jobs. And 77% of them think that that's okay for women to work and to do some male jobs. But what is interesting is that just 53% are completely agree that women has the whole right to decide, just 53, what she's going to do in her life. Either she will be a housewife, or she will have a business, or she will work in some company. So, and out of that 53%, 40% are male or men, and 66 female women. So 66% of women thinks that they cannot choose properly what they're going to do with their lives in the future. And we're talking about young generation, millennials. And 29% of them are thinking that's okay, can be this and can be that. 90% of young population think, and 30% completely agree with that, and 30% are just partially, that male and that men and women in our country has the same rights. So just 90% of them think completely, they agree completely with the fact that women and men have the same right. With this we can see that women has much more liberated opinion about that. while young men, they think that women has enough rights, and that's okay. They don't have to think about more, and they don't have to take care about it, to fight for more rights, because everything is completely okay. I don't know if you agree with this. What is interesting, what is kind of conclusion? Next one, please. So, just not to read everything, we can say that between young generation, which are millennials, we can see that there are two completely opposite thinking. On one side, they are so conservative, and they think that they are thinking like, I don't know, even my parents didn't think that way. And for the other side, they are completely liberated. So we came with a culture, we come up with a culture that started to be a little bit more conservative than we had like 20, 30 or 40 years ago in this country. So what do you think? How the roles has to be divided within the family? Men has to work and to bring the money. And women has to take care about the kids. And another opinion is that, which is completely opposite, that equality is okay, and equality is a matter of respect. This is how they see equality. It's a matter of respect. So what men said, and they said, it's not okay for me to sit and watch football, for example, and for her to clean after me. So this is something which is a liberal. We have, for one side, women has to take care about kids and to sit at home, and for the other side, it's not okay for her to clean after me. And then we have like something between. It is okay for us, for women, to have the same rights as men, but not to be completely equal. What does it mean? I don't know. We didn't find out. Because man cannot be a houseman, whatever. So he cannot sit at home and work. He cannot sit at home and do any home business, any homework. He has to be the one who supplies family with the money. But it's okay to be equal, whatever does it mean. So we have very confused young generation actually. This confusion actually is much more stressed with the youngest, from 16 to 19 years old. They're completely confused and very conservative. And the last slide, sorry, but not, last in this presentation. What the high school girls think about women and about men, and how school boys are thinking about women and men. Women about themselves said, women are very complicated, they are exaggerating their panics, they are thinking twice about everything, they cannot decide, they're too emotional, they're too taking care, and so on. They're too, they understand. And they first fall in love, yes, and I was so far. I don't remember the words. I'm just in love. So they show first emotions, even though that emotions are maybe not sincere. They're very organized, they're very understanding, they're rational, and so on. They said that they are mature. This is what girls think about women, what boys think about women. They said, okay, they're much in order, they're more beauty. The second word is more beauty. They're beautiful. They are taking care about themselves without more details. They are thinking about physical position, not about their mental stuff. And they're taking about their appearance, about how they act. They're much complicated. This is something that relate both of them, both female and male things, that women are more complicated, yes, more sensitive. So we have to take care about them. Because we as a man, we as a man, we have to take care about women because they're more sensitive. Nice. But women are still more mature than men, but they're dramatizing too much. Okay, what high school girls thinks about men? They are more simple, practical. They are terrified easily, but also they are cooling very fast. Rushing to things. Okay, thank you. They are not mature. They're too much like kids, like kids. They are much rough. They are stronger. They are devoted. They don't share their emotions. They don't show emotions. They need to be in focus and to be in charge. Everything goes in up front. They know everything. They're aware of everything. They know everything. They like sporting computers. Sometimes they're very calm in the situation where women could be unstable. And they can calm women when necessary. And what the men, high school boys think about men, they're more directly. They're more shy. But for some things they're more shy, but for the other things much more, they have much more self-confidence. And they're the mostly interested in women and sports, and that's it. This is what high school boys think about men. So, starting with these thoughts and this information, actually when we got this research and when we got the conclusion of this research, we were pretty much surprised, to be honest, because we thought that young generation should be more liberal, more upfront, more modern, more leading for some better future in that sense, but we found out that everything goes a bit backwards. Which doesn't mean that we'll stay in a more mature period, because the most conservative, as I said, were from 16 to 19 years old. Probably they are still trying to find themselves. But this is a period where I believe we have to start to shape them in the future, for the future. So as the latest moment, actually, because the family didn't do that in other way, we have to do that in schools and probably some other programs. So this is one kind of intro regarding young population, and I think Jelena will continue with some.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this presentation and setting the ground. Who do we have here as potential entrepreneurs in Serbia, but also what is the situation, how young people are perceiving themselves and the roles they're in. I will now give the floor to Jelena, who will present some data about women as managers and what is the situation with the research or the data you have from the association. So how are women positioned as a manager?
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here, and I'm trying to keep it short because I know that we have reached the entrepreneurs here as next panelists. I am Executive Director of Serbian Association of Managers. This is a business association. We gather both managers and entrepreneurs. And what we see is that actually later, Wanda showed some data on young people and their thinking. What we see now is a trend which really surprised me is that after 40, people I am about working. I really support that, especially when they want to take charge of their lives and to start their own business. Several of us mentioned education, how to change this, maybe too conservative thinking about the roles of men and women in the world. And I think it's really in education we are trying to do education and this continuous learning in our association. And I myself really believe in leading by example principles. So this is what we do in SAM. So our president is, since February, is a woman. I'm as executive director, also a woman. We have 40% of our board members ladies. Two of them are here, Magda and Olga. We have and we have close to, I think we have 34% of managers. We have total 400 managers in our association. We have 34% women, having both managers and entrepreneurs. And what we are really trying is to promote equality on all levels. To show that managers should be treated by their experience and their results, not by gender. We have our award that is a manager of the year, and we do not have a separate one like for a lady manager of the year, because we really do not believe in that kind of segregation. You know, we believe that both men and women can take that award usually. What we did is just for the preparing for this panel, we did a short survey among our members, and in 70 companies, a male is still CEO in 70% of the companies. Exceptions are PR, marketing, communication agencies that are predominantly led by women, and majority of staff or employees are women.
But the owners are still men. Mostly. This is something
yes, okay. And almost all the companies women managers hold over 50% of top and middle management positions. We talked during the preparation of this panel. We talked about the confidence that people have in women, and that even our statistics show that even in charge of money, women tend to be more prudent, more fair, more, let's say, cautious, and even when you have some difficult situation, you have more men that do the wrong things rather than women when it comes to some financial indicators. In average, we have 57% of the females employees in companies. And what is interesting is that 90% believe that in their companies, women and men are treated equally when it comes to level of salaries and opportunities for promotion. However, they believe that it's not in all companies. So they know that this is not something that maybe it's common. And I hope that, and I believe that in our companies, in our member companies, we really have those managers that treat both men and women equally. And when I talk to some of our members, they say, and I think that this might be re-emphasized later on, is that sometimes women tend to hesitate and offer a promotion. Then they are offered a regional position. They need to move and, let's say, cover the entire XU region, or to go and run some company in Europe. So I tend to be very careful and say, that men and women are not treated equally, because sometimes it's up to us. Even myself, when I was offered this position, I doubt myself, and I will ask and around to find someone else to be executive director, because I was not believing in myself, because of, I need another year, I'm not ready. And this is something that we really need to keep in mind. And what we are trying now, and we have a mentoring program in our association, and what we try now is really to boost the confidence even among senior managers and especially among young managers to be confident in themselves, to take a risk a bit, and to get ahead with their career. Men tend to be more proactive. They say, okay, I will take that position, I will learn it later. And this is something I think even not only in professional business but even in life. They tend to do things and think later, and we really think, I think that it says in this survey that you did that we really think, we want to think twice and we want to think three times before we make a decision. I tried to find some data about entrepreneurs because I understand that audience here want to either have tendencies to become entrepreneurs. And some of the data, and this is not my data, but this is some official data from 2014, is that close to 78% in entrepreneurs in Serbia are still men. At least they're in data, in documents, they are registered as and the owners. And what we asked, there was a conference on a couple of weeks ago, and there was a request for a register to keep very accurate data about women entrepreneurs and men entrepreneurs, so we can compare and use this data. So I will not bother you with a lot of data. I just want to mention something that I found out from the Association of Business Women in Serbia and EY, our company, that they did a survey among 455 women entrepreneurs. And what is interesting is that they were usually the starters of their family businesses. So 76 of them don't have family business history. They started it. So I'm really, this is so encouraging, that maybe, people here and women here and the future generation will start some of the family businesses. Also, most of them enter entrepreneurship out of need, not because they had a good business idea. This is maybe connected to somehow social background and situation that we are in. And 53% don't connect and have other business women and entrepreneurs. So I will not talk about numbers anymore. I just want to say that it's really important. I'm coming from the business association. I'm not promoting our association, but generally it feels very important to support women in business, that they have mentors, that they have this continuous learning in life, that you connect either to the hubs like this or some other institution. But it is important to get in connections. You don't need to go to restaurants like men, but there are ways, for women to get connected, to get support, emotionally, business-wise, and this is really important. And I will close this part of section is something that I will quote the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, and she says, "There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish." Thank you.
Before I give something, I want to say something. Thanks so much. I just find it super interesting when the figures that you were describing, and actually your experience with women in business and women managers, because I think that we do find ourselves in similar gaps there. As when you were saying how women linger a little bit longer into that situation where they don't are satisfied with the promotion or the last word. And I think that that's exactly the same thing that relates to entrepreneurs and their growth path. And that's self-confidence, and that's also a little bit of what you were saying before about the learning. So women who think that they don't have ever enough of learning. So for us, it's always about learning more in academic terms and not so much by doing things. So thank you, guys.
the things that are mostly influencing women to start their business is access of capital. And we have lots of data about the lack of access to capital of women in Serbia and how they can start the business. But we have Alexandra here, who is one of the, how to say, the awardees of the startup grant from the state, from the government of Serbia. So I would ask you to share your story about your startup.
Hello again. So my name is Alexandra Đurišić. I'm founder of Beauty Bar Lotions and Potions. It's my startup, my baby, whatever you want to call it. I'm in love with my startup. So my background is marketing PR in beauty industry, marketing PR events, trainings and things like that. So I worked for Lush, it's a UK brand, and I worked here and then in Dubai doing the same thing. So for many years I was in the business, but from that side of business, and having my own startup, like my own beauty brand, now I can call it like that, was not even a dream, like something like, oh, that would be really wow. And then it was a dream, and then after I came back here, I still worked for some time for other companies, but then I realized, okay, I need to stop whatever I'm doing now and to focus. Like what things I need to do, what are my next steps to be able to fulfill my dream. And then I developed myself first in the areas that I didn't know and needed to know, and then I started developing my concept. And so my first appearance in the market was November 2015 with the beard oils at Festival Ivan Bradu, najlepšu u gradu. We have the beard best in town, something like that. But then it's like that. It was like I learned later here in Hub that it was called the test phase. So yeah, you need to start doing things, and I did that for like a year and a half. But of course, developed the recipes and everything before. And then I looked into money. Okay, I need to scale this. What do I need to do next? What are my next steps? Of course, I'm going to need to pay all the government taxes and things like that. But if I'm going to do that, what money can I take from government if I'm going to give them back? So I applied for, it's a startup program. It's from RAS, Razvojna Agencija Srbije, through regional agencies. So RAS is like for Serbia, and in each area you have like regional agencies. So I applied through RARE, Regionalna Razvojna Agencija Beograda, and I got, it was a process of like preparing for that, writing the business plan and things like that. It's not just like, oh, you applied, it's finished in a month. But then I got the funds and started developing things more seriously. And one really good fact that goes like completely opposite from what was going on before or what's going on at the moment, like a really good thing, like fun fact, is that from around 30 businesses that got funds in Belgrade, 24 of them were women, and even one startup is led by 2 women founders. So we have 2 of them here, I see them in the audience. So that's a good thing, because we got like extra points for it's. The government is promoting that actually at the moment, so we didn't pay me to say that. But it's a really good thing to use the opportunities that are there. So that's what you should like always look for yourself. Like, what's your path? What's for you to use? Like what you need to do. And then after all that, I think that is like just the beginning. Even after all these things, then I met Hub in Hub. So I was going to these kind of events for a year almost, and then I joined KICK program. It's a pre-acceleration program for businesses, and then I learned how to structure my business. What steps do I need to do to make it the way I want it to be, and then we scheduled like what I'm going to do. So September is going to be a big launch, now I'm doing the events and things like that. But the thing that is important is to look around you to see what you can do, what do you need to do, what steps do you need to take, because no one is capable of doing everything for their own startup. I have like a friend that is an amazing designer that is part of my brand actually, so I looked around me to see what people I can ask to join me in my journey or help me, and then looked for advice whenever I could, and still doing that. And I'm gonna join also, not sure you mentioned, but the venture growth program here. So it's constant journey. I don't think it's like, oh, you started the company and that's it. It's something that we should all the time, but I think it's like the main point for me was like when I decided, because at that time I was like working. I was working on 4 projects or something like that, like, oh, I want to do this, and that, and then I said, okay, stop, you need to decide what you're gonna do. And luckily I was able at that moment to do that, but then that goes with the support of family, my husband, or people around me. But it's like seeing how we can do these things, like we decide, and then everything goes forward from that. So that's like a brief, but if you want to ask anything, like, sure.
I wanted to ask something, please. No, actually, I didn't want to ask me, I just wanted to comment something. So, my name is Nina from Malaysia, and I started something called Food to Heal, which is combining food and psychology. And listening to both sides, I resonate with her, and I resonate with this side too. Like both sides. Because here, I started going into being passionate about entrepreneurship when I was 16. But as you said, mentorship, there was nothing. Even until now, there's nothing. And everything, basically, I was told that I can never do it because I didn't have the background, no knowledge. I'm a woman, first thing. And they said, you need to act like a woman, act like a man all the time. So for me, it was more like a challenge. So that's when I took up fundraising. And even then, I was not recognized. So I said, okay, you know what? Finish A-levels, I'm going to pursue and pause my degree to do my startup. And then I lost a lot of people around me, to be honest. Like 99% of my friends actually cut me off because I'm actually doing something which is totally in the opposite direction of what someone should be doing from an Asian background, from an Asian country. And then I met Zikri, so many other people who were like, yes, I have to do it, I have to plan. And then when I listened to her story, I kind of resonate too, because my startup is literally my baby. Like, anyone insults my baby, I'll incinerate them. Yeah, like, literally incinerate them. And over the path, I started, like, literally launched it last year after all my research. And this past 6 months, almost everything was being done by me. So I mentor myself, and then I structure myself. Because she has no background in entrepreneurship, but she wants to be part of it. So I trained her, and now it's like, so I trained her, I trained myself, I trained both people at the same time. And eventually we completed a team, and now we are actually like sort of put together. We're not exactly put together, but we are kind of put together. We are going there. And when I listen to her, I can literally see myself like sort of where she started. Like it's like the same boat, it's just like her boat is farther, and I'm just like starting my journey, or not really starting, but in between, haven't reached that part yet. So we are still catching up. And I resonate here because when you said about how women think from the age of 16 and everything, I'm 22, so it's like 6 years ago I was in the same position. When I used to blabber about entrepreneurship and how it will change the world, almost all my friends told me, no, that's not going to happen. Everyone was obsessed about falling in love, getting married, looking good, and I, on the other hand, was on the other side of the direction, running in the sun, jumping in the mud, kind of thing. And I can see why is that, and I can sort of understand why is that, especially the point where you said that you don't know what they mean by equal and not equal at the same time. I think it's more like you be equal, but then you don't be smarter than the men.
Yeah.
So you be smart,
But I will control it.
but I'm going to be here and sort of push it a bit down, because it would sort of look bad on me if you are smarter than me. And women are sort of conditioned to believe that if they're smarter than their men, this person would leave to find someone who they can condition. And I guess that's our drawback, because we are conditioned from young age that you sort of have to like be sort of attached to somebody. You can't be attached to a cat or a dog. You have to choose another human. There's no cat dog, it's human. And we sort of believe that thing is like innate in ourselves. And breaking the mold, I think, is harder when you're 16. But then if you put them in a group like this, all of these women, put them in front of you, they'll have like this total, like a different idea. We like open up their mind. So that's why I wanted to like say that part, and maybe like you can bring the school children here and like put them here. And then, like, yeah, start from them, because one example would be I think is my first two inspirations, Jessica Machias and Ian Machias in Malaysia. They started something called Women4Entrepreneurship. And they gathered this group of really young people who had no confidence. One of them was me. And then they said, go do it, you can do it. And a lot of them from that group actually did it. And a lot of them were women. So if you like, you can check them out and do the same thing here in Serbia. You're really cool. So, yeah, basically that's, I don't know how to conclude myself, but yeah.
The story, and your story is really, the situation is same here. We will hear a lot, I hope lots of stories like that here. But it's also, when you said that this mentorship and how other women can support other women, we have Teresa here, who can speak about her bootcamp in Syria, which is next generation of women entrepreneurs bootcamp in Syria. And some of the entrepreneurs from Impact Hub went there just a week ago, last week. So she can share experience, what women in the bootcamp, what they're doing, what's your perception, and what they did, how they tried during the.
Although I must say it's kind of hard to speak after you. But actually you're representing perfectly what we experienced last week. So we had 24 entrepreneurs from 6 different countries in Zurich. They were from Serbia, from Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, Macedonia, and now it gets very funky, from Vietnam, so Asia, and from Peru. What we also did is we brought in managers and investors from the same countries, what I think is important, because everybody needs supporters, role models, so we sort of brought them all together. And it was the first time we did it, so it was like an experiment. And what was actually really, really great to see was, no matter of the backgrounds the ladies had, I mean, they were all well educated, that's for sure, but they had different backgrounds, and the way they connected, like from the first day on, was just really amazing to see. We asked at the first day, and that was a bit shocking, so I also want to mention that, we asked them, how many of you are actually in a network? And you could really count the hands, like, just with one glimpse. So this is definitely something that came out of it, and also at the end of the week, they could actually see what kind of power that is when you are well connected, when you share among each other, like really this peer exchange, because they could see, I mean, many of them, they started by themselves. They were pioneers, like having their own idea and try to figure it out how it goes. So to get validation from somebody who is like from a completely different country, maybe also completely different business idea, that was just really, really magic to see that. What else? I mean, the energy level 5 days was really that high. And what I heard here, and I can actually also confirm that from my experience, like self-confidence, speaking up and stuff like that, I could not really see that last week. I mean, also the ladies, they were working on their businesses throughout the week. Also the topic of how to get investment, how to actually, what do investors actually expect from me? What do I need to show or not? I mean, the way they presented themselves, the way they answered questions from the jury was just, I mean, that was, you know, confidence plus like multiple 10. I would say that was, and I did not expect that. And talking about
Do you
the
think they
stereo,
were more comfortable speaking up because it was all women?
I'm not sure we had men there as well, and I think it is important to have men involved as well. I mean, both. I think women networking is important, but don't forget the men. Like, you have to build allies, and I think this is something where we could maybe improve a little bit, or more. And I want to make the connection to the stereotype data you just presented. What I think is important that we also start with ourselves, every individual, because it was actually funny. I mean, I was when I organized this, I was occupied with this topic like for a couple of weeks. And also friends or colleagues, they were like, oh, so you have how many women coming? I was like, yeah, 50. Oh, this is going to be complicated. You know? And actually, to be very honest, I felt the same. So I was like, how can I handle so many women? What happened, like it was not an issue at all. So I think sometimes we also have to think about ourselves. How do we actually judge others without knowing them? Like men don't listen, women don't have confidence. You know what I mean? Like I think in the end, you have to start with yourself and be honest to yourself also. So bottom line, it was the first time we organized something like that. It was really magic to see the connections, and also I'm really strongly believe that this will continue. I mean, not all of the connections, but some I'm very sure about it, and I just encourage you to team up and don't see each other as a competition, but really I think together is better.
So actually, I have to add to what you said, that there were some comments around here about the fact that, when some of the Entrepreneurship greeted the woman founders on the website, like, God, this doesn't even look like the same person as before she left. So in a very positive sense. So the energy you described obviously actually boosted this person, right, to focus and move on.
Boosted me as well.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. I would like Maureen, if she can reflect from her own experience from working in an investment company and working with women entrepreneurs, about some of the issues we brought up, from the point of the access to capital to some of these leadership skills that we started talking about in the panel. So can you share, please, we are talking about international experience, so it's from your point of view.
Comment first of all, I think it's such an interesting fact that you cited that of women entrepreneurs, many of them started out of a sense of need. And one of the most fundamental things you have to have as an entrepreneur, women or man, is passion. So, the ideal entrepreneur sees a gap or an opportunity or an idea or an innovation, and they get so excited about that and they pursue it. And you have to be that way because it is really hard work being an entrepreneur. And you're not Mark Zuckerman that invents at the university and overnight success. Like, those are the rare fantasies. The average entrepreneur is like a 10-year path to profitability. You're working your butt off for your dream, and maybe your family and friends think you're crazy. So you gotta believe in this and go after it. And if you're just doing it out of need, my heart goes out to those women because I just wonder if they're really passionate about what they're doing. In my own country, globally, women are starting businesses at 1.5 to the pace of men. So 1.5 more businesses are being started by women than men. So we are starting and running businesses. In my own country,
2015, 2/3 of all the businesses were started by women, and yet women struggle globally to access the capital to start their businesses. So we're starting businesses, we're running businesses, but no one wants to give us money to run them. I mean, that's an exaggeration because there is access. But you know, in the venture capital world in the United States last year, it actually went down the amount of money for women. And 58 billion went out to men, 1.5 to women, you know, for their ventures. And yet, statistically, women businesses fail less than men. So if you're an investor, which one should you invest in? The one that's more likely to fail or the other one? And I think, you know, there's many reasons for that, but I think some of the reasons are because men are very good at believing in themselves and selling the vision. And women approach their entrepreneurialism from a conservative perspective. They're risk averse, we're going to be careful, we're going to grow this business. The good side of that is the business will probably grow and you will still be in business 5, 10, 15 years later. A lot of the man businesses, I was in the venture capital world, very few of those businesses that we invested in that are around today. That's a reality. High risk, high return, you hope, but lots and lots of failures. But I think so many of these self-limiting beliefs are not just in Serbia, they're women worldwide. But you need to have a passion for it, and you need to have a certain level of willingness to take risks, but also respect yourself if you don't take risks. Because I've seen too many men entrepreneurs show up asking for money that they have no rational case for getting. And they just say, like, don't you believe in my dream? Like, they're full of this passion, but there's a certain level of naivety or ego, or just they haven't done their homework. Whereas women work their butts off when they're entrepreneurs. Obviously, you're generalizing. This is what I see. They're conservative. They can't get access to money. Of those businesses that started in 2015 in Canada, 68% of them got no outside capital. They started it with their own money. Some of them had some money. Some of them did it on a shoestring. 73% of them are already profitable. You know, in a year, just over a year. Like, that's amazing for a business to be profitable in such a short time. So I think that there's so much potential for women to be leaders as entrepreneurs. We have so many characteristics of, you mentioned empathy. This is something that you can relate to your market, but also, this idea that I can do this and I'll figure out a way. The idea that women are more likely to, you said cooperate, but it's about partnership. I've never seen an entrepreneur that is not having a gap in some kind of skill. We're all good at some things, right? And then we're crappy at other things. The problem with too many entrepreneurs is, we call it founder's disease. They want to control. It's my baby, I invented it, it's my idea, and you just do what I say. And you're like, but you forgot the whole thing about cash flow management. Remember that? Oh, don't worry about that, Or, but women are more willing to cooperate, which means you might actually say, I'm really not good at cash flow management. I need a partner that's good at that. And that's a smart entrepreneur that acknowledges their gaps or their weaknesses and finds the right person to partner with them. So there's just so many reasons why women have such great potential to be entrepreneurs. We just need to get more self-belief, I think, and then more women supporting women. And then I know we've had a ton of facts, but I want to throw this out. 1% of procurement has gone to women-owned businesses globally. Women are starting all these businesses because nobody wants to buy from them. And here's the funny thing, 80% of purchasing decisions are made by women. So women need to buy from women. So maybe you don't have the money to invest in a women's business, but you have the opportunity to tell your friends about Beauty Bar and say, go buy her product. You might not have a beard, but she has other products. Why you did that? Or you want to tell me more about that?
Thank you very much. My role should be at the moment just to reflect on what we heard and to see if you have any burning question or we can continue on. But we can see that the lots of talking here are going about 2 or 3 topics. So we are talking about latest about the access to capital, but whole talk was about self-doubt and negative self-talk that we as women have. And the other thing is some of the leadership skills, or what Guy said, when we have to step out and be CEO of our companies, or what in the case when we have to grow. So how to make this step and go from a baby to high school, or grow our baby to
school, right?
yeah. I would like to call you all to continue this discussion about self-doubt, because it's ongoing topic through panel. So maybe Wanda and Jelena, maybe you want to talk a little bit from your experience how self-doubt and negative self-talk, what experience you have, or from your own experience, or from the experience of women in corporations, what they are doing, what challenges we are facing.
I can
Whoever.
Yes, I can just say that I am, of course, now more confident about this experience and meeting really great and successful women, both managers and entrepreneurs, and somehow you boost your confidence by just talking with them, listening what they do, how they negotiate, how they sell things, and how they persuade banks to give credit. So I really believe that this is a culture that we all need to support. I will work in an organization that is 5 employees or 500 employees, but we need to support women leaders. And I'm really lucky that I work in such environments that you have opportunity to meet such women leaders, really, and that are influencing Serbia right now. And I hope that this data from the younger generation will somehow change in your future. And what I always say is that we as a nation and culture and society need to change. We need more women on the business magazines. It's usually you see the name first. Now I read later that there are 11 CEOs of banks out of 30 in Serbia, but just 2 years ago there was only 3 out of 30 banks. So things are changing now. We have a prime minister that is a lady and everything. So 11 banks out of 30 have CEOs. Very good. Yes. But just 2 years ago there was only 3 of them. So things are changing, and I think there is a lot of influence coming from multinational companies, that they bring their ethical code, their culture, and I think it's good to learn from them, from the Serbian company's perspective, and we can learn because they, in this topic, I must admit, they are ahead of us, and somehow, I used to work with all international companies, and when you enter, it's how many years of experience you have, what's your knowledge, and you enter at a certain level. No one asks, women or women, and this is something that is in their society. It exists. So we will look into them and try to develop our society towards that, and it will succeed. But again, I am very confident that all these great women that I have opportunity to work with and to talk, that they will great role models for all these future managers and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. I work in the same building as Jelena. I'm following floors in that building. Several organizations managers on the top floor, American Chamber of Commerce on the second, and I'm on the first floor. All three organizations are managed by women. We don't feel threatened in any way. And I would, just like actually instead of sharing how we might be not confident and might not, I would encourage you to look for good success stories around you. There are some very good stories. There are some people that made really great leap and, serious things. Just discover what they are. I fully agree with you. And my personal values are really passion, dedication that lead you to success. If you're passionate about what you do, if you're dedicated to learning, developing, and doing well, you will get result. But don't expect to have an idea, but not, and just that an idea will make you an entrepreneur. And it doesn't work that way. And then, society, men, prejudice, all those are very good excuses for actually not having the skill, having a passion, devoting time and energy to work on yourself. And as someone who really firmly believes that if I work, study, learn, move, that this makes a difference. And there are places like that. Come and visit
It's really true and important.
And I think we need to build exactly on diversity and on variety of who we call leaders. Because, I think at least one has sort of a more traditional and monotheistic vision of leaders. So I think that by stepping a little bit more forward on our own and actually coming out of our comfort zone, even if we would stay back, I think it's great to say, well, this is not a way to do it, it's doable, just go ahead and try it, right? So,
and men do it differently. That's okay. That's really the way they do it. I don't have to be the same way they are. I'm in the industry, it's a male industry, it's HR. Any female director of an HR company. No, in Serbia, not. In Serbia, it's very male. It's a very male industry. HR directors. So it is possible. Look for good examples. Work, study, I'm there to make the result. I think it's excuses are easy to find. They exist. We can also.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have another question. Comment, whatever.
Okay, I would just like to comment by working as a web designer in male field, definitely, and here and abroad. You need a lot of enthusiasm, yeah. You need a lot of dedication and a great persistence. Not when the going gets rough, because it will get rough. But again, don't give up and never surrender, definitely. But what I noticed is the lack of women in IT field. How many of you are here eventually IT entrepreneurs here?
IT entrepreneurs.
IT. One.
What do you mean by IT? Because it's
Well,
people
you are also into that.
in some way.
Also,
I don't think that I'm IT.
so, I mean, web designing, web development, programming. No. Okay. So I said definitely there. I've seen the lack of women speakers in IT. The women who are selling their teams, for example, website teams, working as a technical reviewer. It's really you must have a passion. Definitely, I agree with you. If you don't have that creative spark, you go down and you sit down to do next. So that individuality and creativity is what is very crucial to step up.
Thank you very much. Somebody who wants some comments? Okay.
I agree with you. Passion is especially when the whole road gets dark. It's the one kind of guy you have to run for it, like you're Usain Bolt chasing.
We're not worried about your passions.
I wanted to say, sometimes passion fades. Even from women or men, passion fades. And it sometimes goes down when things get tough. And saying that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but saying that once your passion goes down, you just go down, is sort of like putting yourself down. Because when it goes down, you somehow, that's when the woman network comes in, that's when the connection comes in. Someone has to throw in a fish hook and pull them back up, because another person, someone sees that potential in them, but they don't see it at one very moment. So I guess just the basic connection, just don't say that it's down, finish, no. But it's just that you feel you're down, reach out to anyone, even if it's a stranger. Just say, I feel down, I feel I lost my passion. Can you just throw me a leash or something to pull me up? That helps, works wonders.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Questions, comments?
First, I must excuse myself about the English because I'm not so good in grammar. But I'm an entrepreneur for more than 25 years. And my grandfather was, and my father was, and what I'm seeing, and nobody talks about this, I don't know if in the world is the case. The workers and the entrepreneurs are totally in the war, and nobody teach them how they learn to work together. And I think that is very, very, very important because can everybody be entrepreneur? And it's okay. It's okay for work to work for salary. You are not mindless, or you are not less person if you want to work for salary. It's okay, but you have to have some skills. And if you are a worker, your boss, whatever you call him, it's not obligated to you for anything. I don't know, can I explain? I am speaking with one woman who have also production of something, and in the first time in 20 years, she get her in situation that she couldn't give them the salary in proper time. And it was the disaster about workers. And no one of workers asked her, how can we help you? You are with us for 7 years, for 10 years, some of them work for them. I think it's the most very good thing is to start to educate the workers and the entrepreneurs how can work together.
Thank you very much.
Because lots of people here didn't come out, they want to be an entrepreneur.
That's very important thing to talk about. What we wanted to stress on the other side is what we are presenting, what's culture in Serbia and how it presents entrepreneurship to women. So what the cultural beliefs and some are limited towards women are that we are taught from the early stages that the best thing for women is to be worker, not entrepreneurship. It's not that being worker is bad. Both things are good, whatever you choose to be. You just have to see both options as open for equally for males and females. But what we see from this research is also some other research is that there is a talk that entrepreneurship is not for women because you have to put your butt in working so much. And the best thing is for you to be a worker from 9 to 5 because that's the best thing for raising kids or building family, any kind of family. So,
and entrepreneurship challenges.
And entrepreneurship challenges.
It's empowering in itself because it's a challenging actually act in itself.
Yes, it's just that both things are good. Whatever you choose, it's good. There is no good and bad thing. Both things are
be the best.
And yes, but you just need to have options. I wanted to say another thing. I don't know if you know, but in Serbia there is this students' companies in high schools. So they are now working with some of the high schools in Serbia on building student companies in high schools from 14 to 19, and they have regular annual competition where they present their ideas and build their products and try to raise some investment. And in the last 2 years, as I remember, women-led companies won the national competition, and they are going in the international competition. So it's a good thing. I was a judge in one of these competitions. There are lots of women from high schools starting fabulous businesses, and they're young people,
As we saw, they're more liberal than
We have a little more time, so I would like to give you floor for any questions for our panelists. Just not for us to talk too much.
Yeah. I just wanted to, because of this subject, I also write on a blog called Женский после Куток, Women Business Corner, and the founder, we are co-founders, one of the co-founder here is here, so just invite you to join the community, basically, like we're doing here.
Should I speak on English or should I, because the project is only for Serbian area?
Is it okay if she invites in Serbian just for the girls? Whatever you want.
Let's split. Ženski poslovni kutak or business corner for women is a project started this February, and there are currently 4 women there. We are from marketing, from blogging, from starting your own business and organization, and it's a project we wanted to share our knowledge, to gather ladies who want to learn and who on one side and the other who want to share the knowledge together, just empower women to start their own business, to change their careers if they don't like the current situation, just move from the situation of I don't have enough money, I don't like my job, or I don't know what to do with my free time or whatever, and just simply go for a passion and build a career around it. So I would recommend everyone who is interested to simply visit ženskiposlovnikutak.com and join us either by writing to us or sharing your knowledge. We all have some knowledge, maybe from marketing, maybe from entrepreneurs, from whatever niche you have in an organization. We would like to really gather a community around that, to actually build a community of women, ladies who want to change. And we, simply by being here, we actually say that we want to change, or I'm ready for a change, I want to do something. And it's great, but there is a lot of out there ladies who are still a little bit afraid and don't want, they're not sure if I go away from my 9-to-5 job, how will I support myself and so on. And not everyone has family support, which of course is the most important support. So we want to be that support for everyone who want to do change, no matter how small or big that change is, just to start a hobby that will be maybe later a full-time job, who knows. But in any case, if you are feeling that you have knowledge to share or you want to learn more, you are all welcome.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask our panelists maybe to set up one call to action for the audience. So, Teresa, you can.
It's a deep panel, no? That was a bit too quick. Call to action.
Do you want me to do this?
No, I mean, actually, I think it's great when there is an initiative already.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think many people heard about it now. So I think these are the little dots that we need to connect. So check this one out.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I wanted to say something about the great initiative that's happening here in Serbia. It's called Rock Camp for Girls. I don't know if you've heard about it. So Google it, share it, support it in any way, talk about it, send your girls there, and yeah, maybe that's a good idea.
Thank you. Rock Camp for Girls. Call to action, because we need to close.
Well, you might say that people who put their hands up want to be entrepreneurs, but sometimes it takes a while to percolate on this. So there might be a lot more women in this room that are potential entrepreneurs. I think you have an amazing resource here at Impact Hub. If you want to, that guidance, because women do like to not think they know it all. So come learn, get that support, and find your mentors. You because I think that there's tremendous potential in this country for women to lead economic transformation through impact businesses. And by the way, impact businesses are businesses that have a socially or environmentally progressive impact. It's not just about making money. It's nice to make money, but it's nice to make money by doing good too. Yes.
Invite you all to follow us. You don't need to become a member. You can follow our website or Facebook, because you will find there really great stories and experience stories from experience. People we tend to put everything that is of some importance and benefits for managers and entrepreneurs, and we will put that website on our. We have a business corner, so we can promote in that way. So I'm looking forward to exchange and to promote. But so my invitation is to all of you is to get more informed about everything going on. And this is the way life learning is our motto.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Take over the front row.
what I would say is be honest with yourself, like Teresa said, we all have to start from ourselves. I did it several times. I'm rethinking my path every few years, to be honest with you, and then changing it. Be brave. Don't be brave. Be self-confidence. Ask for questions, ask for help. We are here to have our contacts as well, so we can share a lot of experience and to that knowledge, because we were the generation who learned through working. Because I started to work like 30-something years ago as a student, so I really learned my job, which I'm working now. I learned through working. It wasn't school at that time, wasn't any university to learn about marketing or communication, so we learned it on that. So it's okay, it's possible. And take a risk. I did it several times, even though I wasn't so self-confident, to be honest, but I did take a risk several times. And don't sit in the back row, come to the first row. That was my point, because I was sitting several years, even maybe decades, in back rows, and I decided not to start at the beginning and the first row, to be in focus, to listen from the best people, to learn. So just don't be shy to that, hopefully, and be brave. Passion is very important. I wasn't once an entrepreneur, it was in the 90s, and it was a very wrong time for entrepreneurship, very, very wrong time. It was during the sanction and everything, hyperinflation and everything. But then I started to work for my boss, which is now Mr. Schaffer. He's the owner of the company, and I'm working for him. But I really felt as an entrepreneur with him, because we did a great job together. We started to work together 20 years ago. We were 9 people in the agency, now we have 600. So working for somebody doesn't mean that you're not an entrepreneur. You have to think that way, and you have to feel the same way if you want to build a business and if you want to build yourself. You don't have to be the one who is running the business necessarily. You can be a partner, you can work for somebody or with somebody, doesn't matter. Just feel good with that and choose it. That's the point.
So I can go from there, basically, because if you don't want to start your own business, maybe see how many of you are here. It's like look at the person next to you or around you, because they can be the ones that are leading the business. Like you said, you can be part of that. or you can make connections, network. It's the most important thing, networking. And don't be afraid to ask for help, to ask for countries, to join communities. Again, like if you need to test anything, I recommend hubs or organizations, something like that, to build your idea. But always be free to ask and just do it.
Thank you.
So there's so many things to say, and actually we're addressing broad issues tonight. This is just going to be the first of such, I would say, meetups of clients, whatever we want to call them. We wanted to see from you to which of these big things you relate to and how you want to become engaged and stay in touch with us. One really super important thing that all of us here, including yourselves, are stressing is that to build such great models that we need to move forward, we start from practices. And in Serbia and in the Balkans and in this part of the world especially, we are doing a lot of that. So there's not so many pathways that we can at this point actually follow. It's about pioneering, and it's about just doing that and recognizing every step of the way what sort of support we can get and what we did wrong and how we're going to get it better the next time. So we're definitely all of us here to learn together how to make the next step a little bit better, starting from the resources that we have available here. And as you can see, there is plenty. So let's do that. And it is our call for you to actually, if you want to stay in touch, if you want to get involved, just put your name up on the whiteboard. There's plenty of markers up there. And you will see actually 3 different categories. One is the mastermind groups, which we are, Anne and I actually, are launching from the next 10 days. That's sort of a peer group for us to keep the focus, to become better leaders, to get more accountable into our entrepreneurial journey, and to have recurring, actually, such meetings so that we can catch up with each other. Whoever is here and has something to offer, such as you girls and the box, please, you can offer trainings, you can offer your services, whatever the case is. Someone is in here as a coach, as a mentor, as a supporter. Just put up your name and we'll be in touch. So next time, it's going to be in September that we meet. We will tackle one of the issues we talk about here tonight, which is need to figure out and prioritize which one that is. And we'll let you know, and hopefully it's going to be all of you next time talking again about not only talking, but actually, seeing what happened in the meantime and moving forward. So thanks so much.